Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Octavia Prosper. In the headlines, PM Skerrit renews call for reform of global financial institutions. Hospital Authority announces major upgrades at Dominica China Friendship Hospital. And Agriculture Ministry and Met Office strengthen hurricane season support for farmers and fishers. The details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is once again calling for urgent reform of international financial institutions. The Prime Minister argues that lengthy approval processes continue to delay access to critical funding for developing countries, limiting their ability to respond effectively to national development priorities and emerging challenges. The remarks came as the Prime Minister addressed recent proposals and recommendations submitted by citizens during the government's pre-budget consultation process.
You have the issue of international financial systems. You contract a loan today from these international financial institutions. It takes years before you access the money because they have to go through so many processes. And we've been calling for decades now for reform at the World Bank, reform at the international financial institutions, reform at even our Caribbean Development Bank, so that financing can be more accessible and more efficient in its procurement processes. And so when you contract a loan for $20 million US today to do a bridge or to do a road, it's delayed 5 years, no fault of the government, then the cost increases. You understand? The cost increases, and this will happen.
The Dominica Hospitals Authority is preparing to undertake a series of improvements at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital as part of ongoing efforts to enhance patient care, accessibility, and the overall healthcare experience. Minister for Health, Wellness and Social Services, Honorable Kasani Laville, says the upcoming works will improve access to key services and increase convenience for patients and visitors.
In the coming weeks, the Dominica Hospitals Authority will also commence a series of targeted infrastructure improvements at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital aimed at enhancing patient comfort, accessibility, and resilience. These works will include relocating the building offices closer to the main entrance and the cashier's office to improve convenience for patients and visitors.
Further upgrades are also planned to address infrastructure challenges at the hospital and create a safer, more comfortable environment for patients.
We will address affected areas by water ingress during periods of heavy rains and upgrade bathroom facilities within patient rooms to improve drainage, functionality, and hygiene standards. These improvements demonstrate our ongoing commitment to ensuring that patients receive care in a safe, comfortable, and efficient environment.
As the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season progresses, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy continues to work closely with the Meteorological Service to ensure that timely and accurate weather information reaches the nation's farmers and fishers. Through regular forecasts, early warnings, and climate advisories, both agencies remain committed to providing the information needed to protect crops, livestock, fishing operations, and coastal communities. Their collaborative efforts assist in reducing the impacts of tropical storms and hurricanes. Meteorological technician Annie Skerrit from the Dominica Meteorological Service gave an overview of the expected weather patterns.
This year, the wet season, which runs from June to November, we expecting a decrease from the usual amount of rainfall. So, in other words, the amount of rainfall we usually get it's gonna be less. So we're not saying completely dry conditions because we live in Dominica where rainfall amounts are generally high, but what we're expecting is that the rainfall to be less than what we are accustomed of getting. And what this could mean is that people who rely on like water harvesting and for agriculture and these things like that, it means that you need to monitor conditions. So there are times that the amount of rainfall you usually get during that season, you may need to alter a little bit because there might be a chance where you'll be getting less rainfall. So here you may need to start to talk about your irrigation measures, especially along the western coast.
Mrs. Skerrit also provided the measures being taken to ensure that farmers and fishers have access to reliable information and guidance throughout the season.
Well, we are in the hurricane season, and usually when you have a weather system coming through, you tend to see rough seas. So a lot of times the Met Office we issue advisories when we see the indication for rough seas. So we want to advise farmers to keep updated on weather information on a daily basis. The Met Office have various avenues where you can get the information. We have WhatsApp channel, we have Facebook, we have our website. It's also aired on the weather reports on the radio stations. So always keep updated every day to find out what the weather is doing, is any implications for the sea before venturing out.
She says the long-standing partnership with the MOA has played a vital role in assisting farmers and fishers to make informed decisions, safeguard their livelihoods, and strengthen the resilience of the agricultural and fishery sectors in the face of increasingly unpredictable weather patterns.
I believe that we've made a lot of strides over the years in terms of trying to reach people with weather information. The Met Office has invested in WhatsApp channels where we find a lot of people have moved to in recent times to social media. So we've moved to that market to try to meet a lot more people, not just people who sit and listen to the radio and stuff like that. So we tend to ask people to follow our channels so that they can get the updated information on a daily basis. We continue to work with the various climate sensitive sectors across Dominica, and like always, the farmers are always on top of our list. So we want to ask farmers to continue to pay attention, listen to our weather information, also follow with your extension officers for climate forecasting and climate implication, which will help guide you in making decisions as to what to plant, when to plant it, if you need to change from your usual practices and so forth.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. The Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities, DAPD Inc., successfully convened its 42nd annual general meeting on Wednesday, 27th May 2026, under the theme, Sustaining the Disability Movement in a Rapidly Changing Global Environment. Ms. Ernica Esper, Executive Director of the DAPD Board of Directors, says 3 members were elected to the board on Thursday, 4th June 2026, where a special meeting was held to elect officers to serve in various positions for the 2026-2027 term.
DAPD had its 42nd annual general meeting, and during that meeting, some members were elected. 3 new members were elected. 2 re-elected and 1 was elected due to the resignation of a board member. So after the board met, the newly elected officers are Judy Sango, President, re-elected, unopposed. Sonia Julian Blackwell, re-elected, Vice President, unopposed. Seraphine John Lewis, Secretary, re-elected, unopposed. Nathalie Murphy, re-elected, unopposed, Treasurer. Matthias Bruno was appointed Assistant Secretary Treasurer, and our newly Communication Officer is Mr. Timias Pierre-Louis, and Miss Jacinta Warrill make up our 7 board members.
Meanwhile, DAPD is observing June as Membership Outreach Month and undertaking a membership drive as activities for the 2026 calendar of events continue. Ms. Esprit says the plan is to extend the outreach due to the number of individuals that are still unaccounted for.
Membership outreach is still going on. We started in early June, and we have visited a number of persons with disabilities, members and non-members. And why we brought that up is because, for obvious reasons, there are some persons with disabilities who cannot leave their homes, so we go to them. And although we say June for membership month, membership outreach month, we realize that June will never be enough for us to cover everybody in the country. So we plan to extend it after the end of June.
As part of this initiative, visits will also be undertaken in other communities around the island with a view to reconnect with members who, due to various circumstances, are unable to attend programs, may have become inactive, and make contact with others who may be interested.
Sometimes we plan to, the number of people we plan to visit for a day, we cannot do that because when we arrive at someone's home and they start to speak, we cannot cut them off. We have to stay there. So sometimes, we maybe say 45 minutes to an hour per person, but that extends longer. And we have been to Castle Comfort, we have been to Massac, Sultan, Good Hope. Tomorrow, Thursday, we are planning to do some more around Roseau, and we plan to do the north, the southeast, the south, and anywhere we can go to meet our members. We plan on doing that.
And now, your weather update. The interaction of a trough system and a tropical wave is expected to increase atmospheric moisture and instability during the next 24 hours. This is expected to result in increased cloudiness, scattered showers, and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms later today into tonight. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks are advised to be on alert. Saharan dust concentration is expected to decrease during the next 24 hours. However, people with respiratory sensitivities should continue to exercise caution. Sea conditions are expected to remain slight to moderate during the next 24 hours. Waves are forecast to reach up to 3 feet along the western coast and up to 7 feet along the eastern coast. Tropical Storm Arthur, the first named storm of the Atlantic hurricane season, has developed near the middle coast of Texas at 11 a.m. This system poses no threat to Dominica. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Octavia Prosper. Thanks for watching and stay safe.